Have you ever had a bad travel experience? I know that I have. I've had many of them, and a lot of them are caused by mistakes that we make. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about our top 16 things that we do that are travel mistakes that either lead to a bad experience or cause us to spend more money or do something that kind of hinders our fun that we're able to have. The 16th one is the most important, so stay tuned and we'll get to that one in a little bit. First one is overpacking. So overpacking is always a thing that we do because we don't know what we're packing for or we're unsure of the weather or anything like that. So the big thing is to kind of fill up your carry-on first, get going from there. You know that you can wash clothes, reuse clothes, anything like that. So be careful with overpacking. If we use multiple suitcases, then it costs more with the airlines. And we have to stay under the 50 pounds for the airline, so we have to make sure that we stay within there. So overpacking is something that's very, very important to try not to do. Next is overplanning or having an over-ambitious itinerary. I know that we want to try to get everything in that we can. I know that I do whenever I go traveling, but trying to squeeze in, 10 countries into 11 or 12 day experience, you're not going to get the full piece of everything. And so you want to try to make sure that you're not over planning. You're going to get some downtime. Traveling can be very exhausting. And so a lot of times you want to make sure that you do some things to make sure that you're taking that downtime to relax, to kind of recharge, so that you're not so exhausted all the time. Another one is staying on the beaten track. And so the problem with that one is that we don't really get to experience the culture. If we stay on the beaten track, it tends to be more crowded, and it tends to be what everybody else is doing. And I absolutely love getting off of the beaten path. I love going and doing more local things like that. It ends up being way cheaper to do too. So that's always something to kind of keep on, but getting off that beaten path, you'll find hidden gems, you'll find things that you love doing. That's how I've found a lot of the beaches that I super love, or a lot of the restaurants that I love in different countries and different states and stuff within the United States. Another one is not checking the weather before you leave. That's a huge one because sometimes we don't know if it's going to rain, we don't know if there's going to be a warm front or a cold front that comes through. So you want to make sure that you're checking your weather and packing accordingly. That kind of goes with the overpacking because we don't want to pack for every attempt or every type of temperature, everything. So you want to kind of see what the forecast is, be able to do that. Another big one is underestimating our times, especially when we're at the airport. We want to make sure we leave enough time for security. We want to make sure we leave enough time to be able to get our luggages and get all that stuff that we need, because if we end up missing flights or missing our taxis or our pickup points or anything like that, so we want to make sure we always leave extra time in for anything like that. Kind of going along with that is booking our flights too close together. That's also something that's really, really dangerous because if you miss your flight, then it throws everything into turmoil and flips everything upside down. So a lot of times what you want to do is make sure that you have your flights spaced out. I love to jump on Google and ask questions, jump on Reddit, ask questions, and just kind of see what people are doing and what they suggest. One of the big ones that I can say is that I live near Charlotte, North Carolina, and that airport tends to be very crazy, and a lot of times a lot of flights will offer 45-minute gaps between connecting flights, and that is not enough time. Whenever I've had 45-minute gaps in between, there's a delay, there's something that happens, and I always end up missing my flight. So I always say to try to do longer, especially for the busier airports or the larger airports. You always want to look at maps, you want to look at stuff and see how big an airport is so that you know how much time you need to do. Some airports, between terminals, you're going to have to catch trams, and you're going to jump on a train or something like that, and you want to make sure that you're following all that as well. Next after that is eating at hotels or eating anywhere near a major attraction. So anytime you eat at a hotel or anywhere near a major attraction, it's going to be more expensive. And so a big thing is, again, trying to get off that beaten path, trying to get into those local places, asking people where they go, anything like that. You're going to find things are significantly cheaper, and sometimes it even tastes better. And so that's one big thing to pay attention to because it's always healthier and better for us to try to get out and kind of go from there. Another big one is napping when we check into our hotels. We lose time. And when we nap, it feels great. I understand that traveling is exhausting. But what happens is then it throws off if we're jet lagged, or there's an opportunity to be jet lagged, that throws us off even more. And so being able to nap while it feels great, it's going to make it down the road, it's going to make us have more problems later. One of the big ones that I always say to people is to trust your intuition, to trust your gut. If something feels like it's a scam, if something feels like it's not safe, then you want to leave. Just really trust that and make sure that you're following what you feel like is your gut reaction, your gut feeling to get out of a situation. Next is carrying valuables. You want to be limited in how you carry them. I have left stuff on transportation before. I've left stuff on buses, on trains accidentally, and obviously once they drive off, there's never a way to get it back. So you want to limit your valuables and only wear the things that are essential for you, the things that you really want to wear. I try really hard not to keep stuff in my pockets and just kind of keep things at a minimum, even when I do like credit cards, when I know that I'm going out and doing stuff. I will only bring certain ones that I need that I know I'm going to use. I won't bring all of them with me just in case there's an emergency later. And so this way, I don't lose all of them if I would happen to lose my wallet or anything happens. Another big one is not knowing where to exchange your currency. Never, ever, ever, ever exchange at an airport. The rates are always way higher. You want to make sure that you're doing it at a local bank. Or any place where there's exchanges. I tend to look at AAA. Not every AAA does it. Our currency exchange, and you actually have to let them know ahead of time, but they actually offer really good rates, and so the big thing is just to make sure that you're following and doing that, but stay away from airports and research your rates beforehand. There are some really good like online companies that you can use that will send you the money. You just have to make sure you're home and you sign for it, but they are able to do that. Another one is not informing a bank or your credit card of your travel dates. I have run into this where I got a card declined, and then I had to call the bank and let them know, and then I had to do it while I was in another country and all of that fun stuff. And so it's just easier to inform them ahead of time. Some of them you have to call in. Some of them there's online forms. Some of them it's just you can go straight online and fill out and submit some things. So you just have to kind of reach out to your bank or your credit card company and let them know what you're doing and kind of see which one you have to do. Another one is not knowing how to tip, especially internationally. In the US, tipping tends to be higher, but on average, it's about 5 to 10% that you want to do and leave for your tipping. Countries are different. So again, go Google the countries that you're going to, look and see what the tipping rates are. But on average, they're about 5 to 10% in most nations. Next big one is understanding the passport and the visa rules. A lot of people don't research that ahead of time. For most places, if not all, your passports have to be valid so many months after you complete your travel. There are new visa rules that are being released sometime in the next couple of years over with the European Union and over in Europe. And so making sure you're researching some of that. I will leave the link in the description for the European rules that are going to be starting next year. And just make sure you read through them and kind of read through the rules you have to apply for and everything. So just make sure you're up on all of that. Next is not knowing the local culture as well as some local phrases. Local culture is important because every country and every location has different laws. There are some where you're not allowed to chew gum in public. There's some where, there's different ways of greeting and doing things and crossing the street and things like that. So you want to make sure you're up on most of the laws, if not all of them, and just kind of making sure that you stay within that. Common phrases, asking where the bathroom is, pleases and thank yous, things like that. You'll tend to get more response from locals. It'll be more helpful if you attempt to use some of the main phrases that that they use in that country. And last but not least, the most important one, the 16th one, is get travel insurance. Travel insurance is really, really, really important because it protects us if we get sick, it protects us for trip cancellation, it protects us if we miss our flights. It has a huge area that it protects us for anything, and making sure that you get your travel insurance. Also on top of that, making sure you know your policy. Not every travel insurance policy is the same, so you want to make sure you research them. You want to make sure that you look at them and pick the one that's going to fit best into what you need. I will also leave a link in the description for the policy and some places that do comparisons so that you can make the best decision for your policies, so you can look at that. So those are the 16 things that I always think that people make mistakes when they're traveling, as well as myself. I've done all of them, or if not most of them. Please like and subscribe. and we will continue to go. We had a huge weekend and got some more subscribers, and so let's keep going. As we start to get further in, I'll start running some contests and stuff for as we get higher up in the subscribers. So please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about. Point out, leave some comments about some funny stories, some things that happened to you where you broke one of these, or maybe there's one that I left out, and just let me know. So I hope that you have a great day. I hope that you have safe travels, and I will come to you soon. All right, bye.